Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up, YouTube? It is I, K Rod here. I'm back with another good video for a live stream for y'all today. And yeah, let's get right into it, man. Not gonna be on here for too long. I'm just gonna get some shit off my chest. And yeah, I'll just keep it moving. Yeah, let's talk about it. We got the Golden Boy fight card with Jose Gonzalez, like, whatever the fuck his name is, versus some other weird dude. I guess he's some Colombian guy, but I don't know who he is. Jose Angulo. Yeah, he's out of Ecuador. Ecuador. But yeah, he just recently beat him, and I guess he beat him to like a left hook to the body. And I'm just gonna talk about a couple fights on this card that I wasn't really too satisfied with. And I guess like maybe for starters, let's talk about the female fights. The first fight, a lot of people were saying like, okay, this fight could have been like a robbery. I didn't think so, but we had Jasmine Artiga versus Amy Salinas. This fight of its own merit, it was a good, decent fight, but I personally had Jasmine beating, Salinas. Didn't really think that the judging, was corrupt at all. Like, if anything, Salinas, she's not really that good of a fighter, and for all the idiots in the back room that she is a good fighter, she's really not. Looking at her, at her previous fights and the level of competition that she's fought very weak opposition, and there's a reason why she's in her position of not being higher in skill level of like where she needs to be. And I don't really see her to be that type of fighter where she can make progression and she can actually do things, in her career to be very successful. Um, I will, however, say that she has a good pressure style, type of fighting. But at the end of what the day, this is boxing. This is not knockouts. So just by looking at the fighting style, Jasmine's style looked to be all wrong for Amy Salinas, like fighting style. Granted, some people like to say that Jasmine she got the benefit of the doubt, like with other judges, but I didn't really think so. I actually thought that the fight, really wasn't that close. I didn't really give Amy really any rounds. If anything, it was just like like either it was a straight wash or it was just basically 4 rounds to two. I think this is a 6 rounder. Yeah, uh, yeah, that was a 6 rounder. So yeah, I had Jasmine beating her either 5-1 or 4-2. If you want to be generous, but 5-1, 6-0, or 4-2. Jasmine beat the crap out of her. I don't see Amy really being that good, and maybe somewhere down the line in the future she might have better progression, with her career, but I don't really see anything getting better for her. And I'm just not sold on these, like, you know I guess, like, these little weight fighters. I think this is why that the consolidation of skill level needs to be like limited with the weight classes, or the weight classes in boxing need to be consolidated. But either way, I mean, I just personally don't like seeing a lot of these multiple weight classes in the sport. And I personally think it's probably best to just keep it to 8 weight classes. Start all the way up at 130, and then just go from there to 135, 140, 147, 154, 160, 175, and then heavyweight. And I think that's a good consolidation. Otherwise, seeing these like smaller looking ladies fight each other, and same thing with the men, it's kind of bullshit. And I don't really like appreciate how everything goes down. But either way, the fight itself, it was decent. Didn't really see you know um, too many wrinkles in Jasmine's fighting skill. She looked pretty sharp out there. She has been out the ring for quite some time. It's actually been over like a year and 5 months, if we're being exact. But Jasmine, she got the job done, and Like, she's a decent fighter. I don't really support her like that because she's really not that type of fighter to be like super duper good yet. And I think due to the state of the division at 115, um, I don't really see her making any progression in the super flyweight division. Even though it is a semi-stacked division, there are some good names out there, but I don't really see the division really getting hot per se. But knowing that she had beat Jamie or Amy Salinas, she got the job done. So hopefully sooner than later we get to see her more in the future. Um, Now let's talk about the other fight. The other fight kind of got me pissed off, but the other fight was with this other kid by the name of Eric Tudor versus Edgar Valenzuela. See now, Eric Tudor, if I'm not mistaken, um, he's a natural 160 pounder, but I'm not too sure of like what his recent boxing history has been. But looking at his box rec, he has been more of a natural 160 guy. But either way, he has been fighting at 154 his entire career. Um, he's a very, very good fighter. He's definitely there. It's just that I like to see more out of him when he comes into these fights. He's only 20 years old. He's a very, very huge, 154 pounder. The only thing that makes me concerned about him is just that he kind of leaves himself wide open, and he puts himself in really bad positions, similar to Ryan Garcia in a way where his chin is wide up in the air, and sometimes when he's swinging for the fences, it's only a matter of time where he does get clipped, and then he'll end up getting stopped. But this opponent that he had, he was an undefeated fighter, Edgar Valenzuela. But from what I know, this guy came all the way down from no, he. Oh wow, wow. He came all the way up from 126 up to 154. What? Wait a minute. What? Yo, look at this shit. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me within this man's last 5 fights, minus the fight where he got knocked out, his last fight was at 124. That was at featherweight. The fight before that, 175. And then the fight before that was 168. And then the fight previous to that was at 175. So this man literally cut all that weight to go down to to 124 for a featherweight fight, which made no goddamn sense. He should have probably been banned, from doing that. And then you move all the way back up to 156 and you fight some undefeated kid that just ends up knocking your ass out. It's just like, dude, that's just sad, man. That's just absolutely sad. But yeah, like I wasn't impressed with this card. Like, there was like obviously some weird bullshit being orchestrated in this card, but yeah, man, that got me so pissed off, bro. It's like, I knew that there wasn't something right with this Valenzuela guy, but Valenzuela, he held his own. He did what he had to do, but I mean, Eric Tudor, he was obviously just there just to beat his, just to beat him up, so that way he can look good to make himself look better, for the future, like for him to be a more notable name. But I think either way, like the fight itself should have never been set up like this. I think Eric, he would have had like a way better fight with anybody that was in the top 200 or top 300. I mean, looking at the 154-pound, fighting rankings, I mean, there's plenty of opponents here that he could have fought other than his opponent that he just fought now. He could have fought anybody, in the top 200 or top 300, and it's not like he couldn't do that. It's just that why, out of all these guys, you want to fight a guy that literally dropped a shitload of weight to get down to 124, and then he regains all the weight that he just cut down prior to fighting him. That makes no goddamn sense. So basically, wait a minute, wait a minute. I could be I could be getting the information wrong here, but it's just like I don't understand where some of these fighters' mindsets are, because if I am looking at this correctly, I'm clicking on Edgar's box rec right now. It says prior to Eric Tudor, this was back in February of 2022. It literally says right here when he weighed in, coming into that fight against Alberto Gonzalez Abril, in which he had a split decision victory, in which they don't even put that up on his box rec, but still, prior to that fight, he fought at 175 against Osvaldo Martinez Valenzuela, and then he cuts a shitload of weight. Yeah, he literally cuts all the he literally cuts all of his weight from 175 to 124 pounds. And then he gets a split decision victory against the Alberto Gonzalez Abril guy. Who the fuck approved that? Who the fuck approved that? I'm sorry for me being vulgar, but who the hell is managing this man's career? You cannot fucking tell me with a straight fucking face that a man can cut all of that weight from 175 pounds, in which he better not have killed himself in the process, because that is pure muscle on top of body fat being removed out of your body. And I mean, this is coming from a person that used to wrestle in high school, but I will keep it real. If you're 6 feet tall and you're supposed to be 190 plus pounds, but you're trying to go beyond that to eliminate all of your body fat on top of what the muscle that's supposed to be there on your body, you're going to kill yourself to go beyond your certified cut weight, which should be your maximum amount of weight that you can cut for the BMI index, or for the body mass index that is necessary for you to cut all that weight so you could be healthy. But in this case, this idiot decided to cut all the way from 175 to 124, in which he barely won this fight against Alberto Gonzalez Abril, down in Mexico. And then he gets knocked the fuck out, which in his own respective right, he deserved it, because it's like you had 5 months to train after this fight to then rehydrate yourself all the way back up to 154, and you don't, yeah, like he doesn't look good. He looked out of shape. He looked like a fucking bum out there. He looked absolutely garbage, man. So there has to be some political, manipulation being thrown behind closed doors. Otherwise, this guy should have been going back up to 175, because this guy looked naturally bigger than Eric, but still Eric, he was able to get the job done and he was able to do his thing. But you can easily tell that his opponent was obviously coming into this fight to be set up just to lose. He wasn't coming in to win, he was coming in to lose. So that's pretty much like my biggest problem that I'm having with this equation of why Eric decided to fight this guy instead of fighting anybody in the division at 154 that could have easily given him a tougher test, in which I think that's what Eric needs to do. So moving forward with the rest of the card, we have Mr. Or Miss Gabriela Fundora versus Lucia Hernandez Nunez. This fight I wasn't really too satisfied with, and I mean, no shade on Gabriela Fundora. I think she's a great fighter, but the biggest issue that I have with her is that why are you fighting women that don't give you a challenge? Lucia Hernandez Nunez, from what I know, she's a decent fighter, but she has been on a massive losing streak ever since losing to Areli Monsino on the Ring City USA fight card. And then the fight after that, she loses to Ava Nolasco, some other woman that I don't know, in which she's some 22-year-old female fighter, in which she's on the come up, but her record's not that good, and she doesn't fight that well as a fighter. And then same thing with who's the other fighter that's on the list here? Hold on, let me take a look at that real quick. But yeah, pretty much like I just wasn't really too satisfied with the matchmaking, for this card. Gabriella, she did what she had to do, but at the same token, it's like you should be facing somebody on the level of, like, let's just say, I'll just say Jacqueline Musillo Munoz, in which her record's not that good, but at least she's 25 years old and she got some decent, punch resistance. But she, like, she would give like a better fight than her than her recent, like, opponent, Lucia Nunez. Um, I think that's really what the biggest problem between myself and the Fundora family. I don't think Fundora and the family are like that good of fighters yet, and I think based off of Sebastian and Gabriella, I think Sebastian, he has a high ceiling of getting up to a world title, but based off of his style and his skill progression, it's just like, I don't know. I think it's just not really going to that level. Hey, salute to you, TS Boxing. Thank you for coming through. He salute it bombed out. I don't know like what you mean by that, but I mean if you want to hop onto the panel and talk with me about it, please join. But basically, I'm just talking about the Golden Boy fight card that was poorly designed, uh, like for tonight's card that just went by. But I'm just basically breaking down the card and I'm just talking some boxing, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. But yeah, Gabrielle Fundora, she's a decent fighter, man, but I think stylistically wise, she's not there to the level of of absolute superstardom, where she can take off and definitely take over multiple divisions. I think what the biggest problem with Gabriella is that she needs to work on her defense. She needs to work on her ring IQ, and she definitely needs to work on her punch placement. She throws a lot of looping shots, and she acts very careless at times. Hey, salute to you, bro.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Thanks for
what's
waiting.
up, man?
Yeah, I was asking if you said the card sucked. I said it bombed out, so it's shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was horrible, man. Like, I just didn't appreciate like the matchmaking. The matchmaking felt like it was just like a bunch of retarded high schoolers that signed up to get knocked out or something.
Hmm. I just
But
read about it on Boxing Scene. I didn't even know it was going down tonight.
yeah, I mean, the female fights were okay, but I wasn't looking forward to really like seeing those fights. And but the first female fight, the Jasmine Artiga fight that everybody was complaining about, they said Jasmine should have lost that fight, knowing that her opponent, she wasn't really landing that many punches, and she was getting pieced up a lot, and she wasn't moving her head the entire fight. And then same thing with the Gabriella Fundora fight. Gabriella, she was getting pieced up a bit, but she was piecing up her like opponent, and her opponent, she's a decent fighter, but her left eye was completely balled up. It, like, she definitely had like a really bad black eye. And I like I'm not surprised why the referee didn't stop that shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it just felt like that whole card was just all set up for for every favorited fighter just to go out there
Showcase
and just
fights,
start.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, Top Rank does that all the time, which I hate. You know, um I saw Ricky talking about it. He doesn't give a fuck about Keyshawn Davis or Tiger
yeah.
Johnson or
I
Delonte
don't give a
Johnson
fuck
or
about
whoever
it.
those guys are. I could care less. I mean, they bring them up there. they've got their bums lined up to sit down. Like,
Yeah, I've been getting so much hate lately for me criticizing Keyshawn Davis, and it's pretty much not the same dipshits that support Terrence Crawford, but they say, "Oh nah, bro, like you can't be hating on Keyshawn Davis. He's gonna be taking over all the divisions, man. Look
mm,
at how great he is. He's training with Bud, he's training with everybody." And I'm like, just because you
what does
train
that
with
mean?
former world champions or world championship level fighters, that does not make you good in boxing. You are not a good boxer if you're training with world championship level fighters. Just because you train with them doesn't mean you're gonna win a world title. You still have to put in all that work to prove yourself why you are world championship level, material. Otherwise, it's like, why the hell are you training, with those fighters? Just because that they're giving you all this access to go to their facility and train with them, that doesn't make you look the next big thing.
Yeah, it's because you're either early enough in your career where you're not where you wouldn't be pose any threat. You're either just good enough where you're not too good that they kick you out, or you're too bad that they kick you out. You're just right where they need you to be. If you were too good, you would have done your own shit by now. You'd have your own gym because nobody would want to give you work because you'd beat them up.
Yeah, like I'll even use David Benavidez as a great example.
Yeah, he
Everybody
didn't do no
was
shit.
everybody was using all that sparring they were using all that sparring bullshit that David Benavidez had with Triple G and Dimitri Bivol. But I'm like sitting here like, okay, if David Benavidez, if he's such this if he's such a ultimate badass, why isn't David Benavidez going after Triple G or Bivol? It's like he can
Exactly.
very well go after them, but it's like he knows his spot in the sport, and he knows where his limitations are because people know who he is as a fighter, and the people that he's been sparring over the years they understand his style already. So it's like to me, overviewing that, it makes me think that not a lot of people are really afraid of you. And contrary to popular belief, not a lot of fighters really care about what other fighters say about them until it gets personal to the level of which fighters they have to come out of their shell and actually expose the other fighter that's getting all this hype job praise, and then that's where the whole paradigm shift actually begins.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, I'm just pissed off at this card, man, because, this just kind of felt like a really bad, just poor matchmaking, man. It's like I saw that other dude, that Uzbekistani guy, he knocked out that,
Noor or something like that.
yeah, yeah, Eleanor, Abu
Something like that.
Damaremov,
Yeah,
yeah, Abu,
I'm
yeah,
now Muslim. Oh,
yeah,
oops.
Abu
I
Daramov,
shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
yeah, Abu Daramov. He knocked out that Lionel Moreno guy, and like this Moreno guy, like I don't know where Golden Boy picked this guy up, but
He was
he looked,
poop.
yeah, man, he looked like a sack of potatoes mixed with fucking dog shit, man. Like I'm like, dude, like you mean to tell me that you pick up this 21 or 20 something year old dude to get knocked out by some 28-year-old guy, in which this is how Golden Boy is going to act like top rank. They're going to start hyping up these Middle Eastern Kazakh fighters or Uzbekistani, Turkmenistani, all these weird like all these weird ass Western fighters
Abu
or
Slamamov,
yeah, yeah,
Magomedov,
yeah, all these weird
Hamudramamov.
Middle Eastern fighters. Like
Well, not even that. Like, they're like, I'm gonna say it again. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say this, but I call them mountain Muslims, like cave guys. Like, these are like Eastern steppes, uncharted region, former Soviet areas, mountainous sort of places that they find these guys at. They bring them, they put them all together, and they bring them over here. some of them are decent, you know, but they've got to be allowed to be decent instead of either being hyped up or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem that I have with these Middle Eastern fighters is that they're not coming over to the States early. They're coming over to the States late. So when they start getting matched up tough, it's like don't be surprised when you see like, guys like Israel Madrimov getting pieced up by
Yeah,
some like, top 100 or top 150, American super welterweight fighter. Cuz like I can like I could very well see it happening very soon to him cuz it's like Madrimov, he like he hasn't been put in deep waters yet. Regardless of his controversial win over
sure.
Michael Soro, but still like just because he had a great performance, with the first outing, but then the second outing he obviously got cheated on by Michael Soro with that headbutt. It still doesn't
Yeah,
mean like that Madrimov he's going to be doing that against all the other top level 154 pounders. I think that the best opponent for him that could very well knock him out or give him a tough time for him to win would be a fight like Nathaniel Gallimore, Jared Hurd, Julian Williams. Um, who else? Oh, definitely Jesus Ramos Jr. He would tear his ass up real bad. Um, and then I'd probably say lastly, maybe. Ah man, I don't shit, man. There's so many of them. I'll probably say Leon Lawson. Yeah, Leon Lawson. He's a very good fighter. But yeah, man. Like I
has he
wasn't too.
fought since he lost?
Say again.
Has he fought? Has he fought since he lost?
Who?
Leon Lawson.
Uh, Man, actually, that's a good question because I thought Leon Lawson he was going to come back soon, but yeah, you might be very well correct, on the status of maybe him being inactive because I was thinking he was going to be active, but actually no, he's been like dude, he hasn't been active since the Nate Gallimore loss. He's been inactive
Yeah.
for well over a year and 1 month. Dang,
I
man.
mean, I, I mean, hey, I don't know. I guess it's there. There's sometimes it's tough after a loss to get fights or whatever. I don't know what the contract issues is, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right about the Madrimov stuff. Of course, that'd be a network thing for him to come over and see what happens. But he's running out of opponents at 154 on the zone side, and I really don't think they have anybody for him there.
Yeah, yeah, but I think eventually Madrimov he's gonna he's still gonna be moved, a certain way where he's gonna have to face up against the gauntlet of 154 pounders, and I think similar to Janibek's situation, he's gonna be fed to somebody that's that's not coming in to lose, and when
Yeah.
that person ends up giving him a very difficult matchup, then I think Madrimov he'll be in trouble.
Yeah, with Janabek, I don't know if that fight's going down. Uh,
Yeah, him and
I'd have to
Andrew.
see. Yeah, but um, people are just weaponizing him because they are not big fan of androids. I mean, I don't blame people for not being big fan of androids, but it's a good fight. But I don't. I mean, I favor android. Janabek is solid, but he doesn't wow me. I mean, it took him forever to get rid of Endom, and that guy is super past it, dude. Like really, really fucking old.
Yeah,
Um, he does the basics well. He's not eye popping. I don't I see him getting boxed up, to be honest, dude. He's not nothing really impressive. He's solid, but that's where it ends.
yeah, yeah. I think Janabek, his style is okay, but I think when he meets a guy like Andrade or Charlo or anybody at 168,
Yeah.
he gets knocked out real bad, and I think that's why Janovich, he's trying to test his luck with Andrade, but it's like Andrade, like he doesn't need to fight you. He could very well say, "Hey, look, I don't need to fight you. I can move up to 168, and then he can go ahead and pursue that." Which
The top rank thing. I would like to see Andre take care of him because I don't want Top Rank to have a belt. I just see Top Rank as an enemy, to be honest, man. I don't like them at all. I wouldn't suggest anybody to work with them.
yeah,
I
same
think it's
here,
a
man.
bad platform. I think has horrible commentary. And I think there's just some overarching R word. We know what that R word is, across the company that I don't want to deal with.
Oh yeah, overarching racist.
You said it, not me. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I should have told you that when I was there at the Edgar Berlanga fight, I ran into so many fucking people that I didn't know that were like heavily connected, in the boxing world. But I actually, heard that there was a crap ton of promoters there, and they were like kind of like just chopping it up at at the fight, and then they were talking about all these big, like events and all these like events that certain promotional companies have to have people come together with like certain judges and people within sanctioning bodies where
Uh,
they just basically talk boxing politics, and it's just yeah, like I mean I just find that shit sick, man. It's just like like you never know who's like really watching you in the boxing world, and
it's a
kind of like a great example of that would have would be that one video that I made about this one Texas fighter. I don't know if you heard of him, but if you haven't, please go check him out. His name is Floyd Kid Austin Schofield. He's a great ass fighter.
he's with Jake Paul.
Uh,
Or is that
no,
another Jake Paul?
no, he's a fighter out of Texas. He fights at lightweight.
Okay.
Yeah, just take a look at him. His name is Floyd Kid Austin Schofield.
Is he being blackballed?
Black what?
Is he being blackballed? Like he's not getting the fight. It's the networks. Or they're railroading him basically, or we're just getting started.
He's a rookie, and
Oh, okay.
so I mean, he's not that far away of getting to a world title. He has like certain semi belts that he's fought for, and I think for this upcoming fight that he's training for, it's gonna be a fight where he's gonna have more opportunities down the line. But I think Floyd, he's already there. I should say. Floyd, he needs to start managing himself a lot faster, where he doesn't need to
Mm.
be so reliant off of fighting more in his local home state town, and maybe hopefully in the future he can go further with that, because I think Floyd, he he has the ability to do it, but it's just that with his skill set, that's all subject to change. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, man. Um, I think as far as everything else goes with the rest of the card, it was actually like a really like weird ass card. I didn't really appreciate the co-man event. I thought like I thought Manny did his thing, but he got pieced up a bit. Yep.
Man, I mean, I guess when the money isn't right, or whatever it might be, or because it's a hump day, or I don't know, people just aren't enthusiastic about their performances as they used to be. I mean, I don't blame them. I think that's a lot of people in their everyday life now. Hmm.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully we get to see better matchups in the future. Um.
Yeah.
yeah, the last thing that I was gonna bring up, before I get up out of here, how did you see the main event go with Jose Gonzalez and Jose Angulo?
Which one? The of this card? I didn't watch it. I just saw the thing on Boxing Scene.
All right, yeah, all right then. Forget about it. But yeah, oh, also Danny Garcia and Jose Benavidez. That's on Saturday. So
Yeah, that's a pretty solid card. I'm pretty interested in the undercard as well. I think it's a good triple header. Not too much the main event, but the other two fights I'm interested in.
yeah.
Antoine Russell, I've been big on him for about, I'd say 3 years.
Oh
Three
really?
years when I first saw him. Oh yeah, there's a stream on Black Star Sports, I think, from like 2 years ago, where I said that he beat Devin Haney today, like without any issues. And the thing with Russell is he'll lose to somebody who's bigger and is gonna box him up. That's just the net. But these some of these smaller guys who aren't as physically strong, they're just gonna get ran right over. I mean, his this fight and his last fight are probably his hardest stylistic matchups. Guys who are out and out guys, like to box and move, those guys are always going to give him trouble. But if they don't have the physical dimensions, like Devin Haney's not very big at all, he's been small. But I mean, Antoine is 140. He could probably drop down fight there. But his thing is to fight at 140, keep there. I think a Prograis fight, a Matias fight would be. Hmm. That's a very interesting fight, man, between him and Matias.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting fight. I just like to be a spectator like that. I think that's a good fight. And then the heavyweight fight, Kalnaki and Demirizin. Talking to one of my friends about this.
Yeah, I think
I,
Kalnaki is gonna get knocked out. Yeah.
the thing is, Demirizin, I like he covers up a lot, dude. He isn't very active. It's easy to be active against Gerald Washington. I mean, who hasn't Gerald Washington lost to at this point? Nice guy, great guy. But if Demirizin was more active, I'd pick him. But I think Kalnaki edges it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
Even
so.
though Kalnaki has lost twice, but Demirizin's style is just he's very negative.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
What
definitely
do you
looking
think about the
forward
main
to it.
event? I'm sorry for skipping all over the place.
Yeah. For the main event, I got Danny Garcia stopping, Jose Benavidez Jr.
Yeah, Jose looked pretty bad his last fight. I remember watching it live. I forgot what undercard it was. It was a 10 rounder.
Benavidez and Tyron Davis, I think.
Was it kind? No, that was. Oh, that was on his brother's undercard.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah.
David Benavidez was talking about it, saying that I'm happy that my brother's fighting with me on my undercard.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
I think that was on the Benavidez Kyron Davis undercard. And then the
Oh,
Benavidez, Lemieux fight card, that was a fight card set up by, other fighters of like different parts of the world.
yeah, yeah. That card was that was also interesting. That co-main dude, Jorge Cota. I'm not a Jorge Cota has got to be one of the worst ranked top 15 fighters in boxing, dude. His style is just so shitty, but he makes it work sometimes.
Yeah, Coda.
He was able to go the distance with that Cuban.
It's like, dude, I felt bad for Jorge.
He
Jorge.
got knocked out the exact same way with his left hand outstretched, with Charlo and Lubin. Exact same way he went down. Exact same. You can go and watch it. He falls back with his left hand outstretched. So weird.
Yeah, man, that's funny.
But yeah, it's a decent card. That's the one I'm kind of. interested in this Saturday one. These guys,
Yeah,
you know. What do you think about lightweight division? What do you think about the lightweight division?
man, the lightweight division is on fire, man. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, there's a
There's so
lot
many
of moving
fighters.
parts.
Oh man, yeah, the lightweight division is gonna be it's gonna be literally on red alert. It's like every fight that you see is gonna be 50-50 matchups or at least closest to 2-1.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Devin Haney fan, but I mean, he obviously beats Mr. Kambosos again. I knew he was going to easily beat him even the first time. Everybody said that Haney was going to beat him unless he gets robbed, right? Kambosos is not that, but him and Lomachenko, I guess, is decent. But to be honest, I feel Lomachenko has slowed down a lot, and he's fighting two weight classes above where he's supposed to be. Self-admitted.
Yeah,
He's I would pick Haney over him now as well. I don't think it's not the old Lomachenko. I mean, Top Rank can make a video about him begging for the corner to stop Comey. How about he stops Comey? Actually, it's the ref's job to stop Comey. Guys need to stop. Like compassion. It's no fucking compassion. That's another rant. And sportsmanship after a fight. People expect to see post-fight kisses and love scenes like everybody else needs to. No, if a guy hates you after the fight, he hates you. That's the bottom line. Oh, respect. I respect you. No, fuck you.
yeah, that's just how I am. I don't,
Right, that's
I
it.
don't, I
You
don't, I
said
don't
the
give
first time.
anybody respect at all.
At all. Why should you? Well, should you thank somebody for knocking you out? Thank you. Thank you for knocking me
Thank
out.
you,
Hug
thank
you
you,
and kiss me. Oh, this is garbage.
thank you for
But
knocking me out.
yeah, but if you listen to Top Rank, that's how we're supposed to act and conduct ourselves. Like Joe Tessitore, who's never laced up any gloves, who's never put on a pair of boots, who's horrible to listen to. I can rant about Top Rank all day. I hate them. I
God, bitch.
really hate fucking him.
Yeah, look,
God.
I was gonna say one more thing before I get up out of here, but like the thing about boxing is that, well, I see boxing similar to wrestling, and in
Yeah.
this regard, boxing and wrestling are like the ring of fire sports. It's
Hmm.
like you cannot respect anybody when you get up inside the actual duel mindset of actually hurting somebody, and you have to
Yep.
have a you have to have like a kill switch mentality to like let
Yep.
something go off in your in your emotional mindset, and when you're in that mindset and you leave the like I guess at the realm of reasoning and logic and you just get into the state of nature,
Right.
then that's what turns you into a killing machine. And you know like I was always told by my former wrestling coach back in high school, but he said never let somebody dominate you in a fight, even even if it's wrestling or boxing, because it's you or him, and it's better to get him.
Bottom line.
Yeah, it's better for you to get him versus him getting you, because what are you going to expect out of them, when they try to hurt you? So
Yep.
that's always why a good number of trainers say expect the unexpected, because you don't know what this person's going to try to come in there with and try to hurt you with something that you never seen before. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's boxing's pretty predictable. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And we see the same story about contracts, about X's ducking Y, about Z not wanting to fight Y, and everything else. And it just goes on and on and on. I mean, I
Yeah.
said this before. It's like kind of you build up to a fight, a really big fight. It's like busting a nut, and then after it's done, you're like, oh, now what? It's over. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I just think honestly, there's really nothing that that I can say that I have to give respect to anybody in a fight because
Yep.
I'm just that type of person to be wired in a certain way where no matter what happens between any vigilant altercation, you have to protect yourself at all times to
Yep.
expect the unexpected of any
Yep.
potential danger. So it's best to hurt your opponent and for you not to get hurt in the process.
Exactly. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, yeah. But unfortunately, I gotta get going because I gotta get up for work. But I mean, if you're on tomorrow night, I'm gonna go live on this again.
All right, man.
All right, I
Okay.
appreciate you,
Well,
man.
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime, man. Like you're always more than welcome to hop on.
Yep. All right, bro. Have a good one.
Yep, same to you.
Peace. Peace.
All right. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys. Didn't have really too much thoughts on Jose Gonzalez versus Jose Angulo. I thought Angulo, he was doing good in that fight. He was winning that fight. But Jose, he does have a good left hook to the body. Very good combinations, very good active, hand speed and footwork. Well, no, his footwork is not that good, but definitely like power and some decent hand speed. He can definitely turn himself into like a massive menace. So who knows? I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think he has the skills and abilities to get up there. Um, I just don't know where he's going to go from that, you know, particular performance. He says he wants to go down to 135 and fight, and I'm just sitting here like, bro, like you're not a fucking 135 pounder. He like looking back at his box rec, he is a natural 140, 147 pounder. Um, I just don't know how Golden Boy's gonna operate off of that, and I think he needs to just keep on working himself up, and then eventually, he'll get up there. I just, I don't like I'm not too high off of these fighters that really don't put himself in proper positions to win. So, I mean, either way, decent fight, and hopefully we get to see Jose back in the ring soon. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys, taking the time to watch this, live stream. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. And I will see you guys later. And peace out. All right, so see you guys later. Have a good day, and salute to the mighty, mighty LDBC. And I'm out, man. Peace out. Bye.